Most of you are probably familiar with the International Society for Technology and Education, their standards, which I would say are pretty broad. Under each of these things there are lots of other things, but they say that the standards for students include creativity, innovation, communication, collaboration. So that really has that cognitive and 21st century flavor. Research, information fluency, critical thinking, problem solving, decision making, digital citizenship, and then the last one is technology operations and concepts. So it's interesting, the ISTE framework really gives a lot of emphasis on, I would say, the cognitive side. It's very broad, and relatively little on the technology side in the ISTE framework, which has been around for a number of years now. There's also something in the United States that's been out for maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. This is the Partnership for 21st Century Skills. Have you ever heard of this? And so this is a number of major corporations, and then I think organizations like ISTE joined as well. They were concerned about the overemphasis on basic skills in high-stakes assessments. And so this was major corporations, and they were saying, you know, the product we want from the education system, we want people who are ready for the 21st century, who can work on collaborative, collaborative teams, solving problems, who are creative, who can work across cultures, who can regulate their own activities. And so we need assessment that's broader. We need a broader set of 21st century skills. And they really, I think, were the ones who popularized the phrase 21st century skills. And their framework is another one that I would say is very broad. It pretty much covers everything. So you have your core subjects. So that's your regular academic subjects, you know, your science, your math, your language arts, etc. You have your 21st century themes, which are things like global interdependence, life and career skills. Then you have your learning and innovation skills. And then you have your information, media, and technology skills. And so here they're making a distinction between these 3 levels. So information skills, it's being able to organize and synthesize information. Media, it's being able to critique media and also develop media. Technology skills is the more technical aspects. But you can see in their rainbow, they've kind of covered everything. So it's really very, very broad. This I know you can't read, but it's kind of interesting. I think Robert Cosma developed this for UNESCO, and his concept is a little different. He tried to recognize the fact that different countries are at different places in their economic development and in the goals they set for education. And so he kind of puts the whole thing around technology in the context of their broader education goals. So in basic education, this might be a country that's worried about the basic literacy and numeracy of its population. So a country that's trying to make sure everyone can read. So they're probably going to be trying to provide access to remote resources for the population, and fairly simple technology goals. Knowledge acquisition has to do with, now you're beyond basic literacy and you're really learning in the subject areas, emphasizing accuracy, tested frequently. This is where, many government education systems are, if not in word, the systems are in deed. And here, technology is used to deliver instruction and for learning management. And then knowledge deepening. And here you have more open-ended, multi-part, problem-based learning. Some of the kinds of things we've heard about at this conference. More real-world situations. And now networks and collaborative projects and connecting students to their outside context become more important. So you need a different set of technology skills. And then knowledge creation is where you're actually doing creative works and creating new knowledge products. And in that case, you need different technology skills too. So I don't know whether you'd want to be putting countries into different columns here, but at least thinking about what your education goals are when you think about what you want to test in technology, I think makes sense. It's kind of an interesting framework. This is something that came out. This is the National Assessment of Educational Progress in the United States. It's called the Nation's Report Card. And this is something the government does. It's not a high, it's a low stakes test. In most ways, at least. And this is something that they've done over decades, since the 80s, to try to see, you know, where we are over time, for example, in the literacy levels and the reading achievement levels. So the tests, they're given, you know, like every 4 years in reading, every 4 or 6, I can't remember, years of reading. It does not give scores for individual students. It's used to give a score for the country, and then now they do it at the state level too. And the tests are equated so that we can see whether reading achievement is going up or down over time. And different years they test different subject areas. And they're going to do the first technology literacy assessment in 2012, so it's not too far away. And their report has just come out. You can find it on the web if you look at edgateway.net. Well, this is pretty long. You just look for the NAEP 2012 Technology Literacy Framework. You can find it. That's easier than the URL. And they've come up with a 3-part definition that they're going to use, or framework, to develop their test. And it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different yet. So let's see if I can find my description of it. Okay, here we go. So technology literacy, they say, is the ability to use, understand, and evaluate technology and apply technology concepts and processes to reach goals. So they're not using technology by itself, but then they've divided it into 3 parts. So this is ICT, this is technology and society, and this is design and systems. So the ICT part is kind of fits that definition. It says construct and exchange ideas and solutions, do information research, select and use digital tools. So that's not too surprising. Technology and society is not too surprising. It's effects of technology on natural world and ethics around using technology. So that's not too surprising. But then the design and systems kind of takes us back to the learning about technology. The design and systems is the nature of technology, engineered design, systems thinking, and maintenance and troubleshooting of technology. So at least the plan right now is about 1/3 of the test is going to have a kind of engineering flavor, which is a surprise to many people. Anyway, that's the thought.